advantage to register early. For extravaganzas, you don't register with myself or the Redmonds for extravaganza. We will say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, give you your money back, because extravaganzas are run by headquarters. Sunday School Division for juniors, the General Youth Division for seniors. So refer to those websites that I list on your page for how to register for extravaganza. Now, nationals, if you qualify for nationals, we register for you. Okay? The Ohio District also pays the cost of your registration as well. So that's a really great service that the Ohio District does. So next time you see a district official, tell them thanks for supporting Bible quizzing. And I will mention now that Bible quizzing is supported by, for juniors, Save Our Children, and for seniors, She's for Christ. And so if you believe in Bible quizzing, then you believe in supporting those fundraising efforts as well. And so please support the Save Our Children offering and the She's for Christ offering, because Bible quizzing couldn't survive without those. And people, you wonder, doesn't my registration cover all the cost? And the answer is no. The registrations just cover a piece of the cost, and we are definitely supported by those programs. All right. So just a few minutes here before this session is closed, and what I'd like to do is have you pull out your percentage point system page, PPS, and real briefly I want to go over what this is. Now this is just for senior Bible quizzing, okay? The percentage point system is something that for the last 2 years we have used in senior Bible quizzing. And it is a different way to determine which individuals earn a trophy at the end of a tournament. So at the end of every tournament, there are team trophies and individual trophies. The way we give out individual trophies used to be by just tallying up how many points you got, divide that by how many quizzes you were in. And that's it. The quizzers with the most points earned an individual trophy. We now use the percentage point system to determine individual trophies in Ohio for seniors. And this is a program I really believe in. And what the percentage point system figures out is how many points did a quizzer earn when the quiz could still be won or lost. So before the quiz was locked. Oftentimes there's a point in a quiz where the other team has so many points that it's essentially locked, that the other team can't win. So if there's one question left and the last question's worth 30 points, but you're losing by 100, that quiz is locked. And so percentage point system, it calculates how many points did a quizzer earn before the quiz was locked against them. In other words, how much did that quizzer help their team win? And the reason I like this more than the old way is because it rules out cleanup points at the end. Everyone has seen examples, if you've been around quizzing for any amount of time, of how a quiz was locked against another team, and the other team cleaned the last 30 pointers up, and the quizzer ended up being the highest scoring individual and earning a trophy, even though they might not have earned those points against full competition. In other words, they had an inflated average because they cleaned up the last 3 questions because the other team wasn't buzzing in anymore. And everybody has also been in the scenario where you had this conflict of interest because you wanted your quizzer to get more points even though your team had already locked the quiz. In other words, if you had already won the quiz, there's a couple questions left. You don't want your quizzers to buzz in because you don't want them to get negative points. But you also want your individual quizzers to buzz in because you want them to get an individual trophy. The percentage point system completely solves all those problems. So after a quiz is locked, the rest of the points don't count toward an individual's average. And then it basically extrapolates their average out. So if you look on here, the example that's listed on the front page toward the top, third bullet point, it says, if a quizzer earned 120 of the 240 points through question 16, they earn 50% of the total available points, while the quiz was still on the line. If you put that accomplishment into Bible quizzing terms, we multiply their percentage at 50% by the total amount of points in a quiz, which is 350. So their PPS average would not be 120. It would be 175. And so that's a little bit more of a true representation. If you have a quizzer that's so good that they earned 120 points through question 16, that's hard to do. And so that quizzer accomplished more than a quizzer who might have cleaned up the last 3 points because the other team wasn't buzzing in anymore. And so it puts an accomplishment into perspective a little bit. Now, if you look at the back page on the PPS document, you'll see that in the end, PPS doesn't change a whole lot. But what it often does is it rearranges the order of the individual trophies. And if you just gave it the eye test, and you looked at, okay, here's the state of Ohio. Who are the top quizzers at this tournament at the state of Ohio? The PPS really does a great job, and it typically has the most competitive quizzer at the top, second, third, fourth. It does a great job of it. I've identified the quizzers who have really been competitive at that tournament. So this is the way we do our individual awards in the state of Ohio. Like I said, it often doesn't change much, but I feel like it's more of an accurate representation of who the top quizzers at a tournament are. And we are the first, and to my knowledge, the only district that has adopted this. It's been around for several years, and I believe that soon many districts may be moving toward it. Does anyone have any questions for this session at this time? We're going to take a few-minute break here, but want to give you the opportunity to, yes?
You had mentioned the score, or the rules manual. Is there any major changes between last year's and this year's?
Yeah, so the question is, have there been changes to the rule manual from last year to this year? And there have been, and we will go over those at the fourth session, Into the Mind of a Quizmaster, Rules, Procedures, and Common Mistakes. And I'll go over with you all of the new rules over the past couple of years. Any other questions for now? All right, let's take a 5-minute break, and we will move on to the next session at 1 o'clock.